as you may or may not know, there's a big patch coming out for Battlefield 4 very soon. It's called the Spring Patch, and it's going to be including those 5 new weapons that I've been detailing on my channel recently, and the Gunmaster game mode. Now, along with that, we knew we'd be getting some balancing tweaks, and those have just been set live within the CTE this week. There are quite a lot of changes that are actually being made, and a lot of them are being made to weapons that have seemingly been forgotten about, and there's some nerfs going on in there that I didn't really understand, and there's some much needed buffs going on in there that I did understand. So overall, I'm really happy with some of the changes that are going ahead, and I thought I'd talk about some of those today. But before we begin, the gameplay in the background, I do want to talk about this just very briefly, because I was running the ACWR with iron sights, suppressed, and the stubby grip. And it's probably been my automatic weapon of choice within Battlefield 4 now for maybe a week or so, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it. It's a close quarters beast, and with the suppressor, it just makes you feel so epic when you're using it. And do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the ACWR from Modern Warfare 2. When you stuck iron sights and a suppressor on that, it just feels so similar. And that might be a weird comparison to make, but especially when you're playing on maps like I am now, Pearl Market Rush, which clearly was not designed with Rush in mind. It's a really, really frantic map to play on. And of course you want a weapon that then is going to deal a lot of damage very quickly. And every time you take a player down, it's just the noise of the bullets going through the suppressor and the speed of those bullets landing on the target. Oh, it just sounded absolutely amazing, and I had a brilliant game, and I would probably say it's the best game of Battlefield 4 that I've had for maybe 4 or 5 months, and that's saying something, considering the game is now working and playable. I finally had probably the best match of Battlefield 4 that I've ever had, really. So yes, the gameplay in the background is of that round, and I believe it's all taken from that round. It will be broken up quite a little bit, because I did die quite a lot, but in between those deaths, there were quite a few kills that I got as well. People just didn't realise where I was because of that suppressor, so I hope you enjoy that. But here we go, on to some of those weapon changes. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the sniper rifles, because this is what interested me the most. They've done some balancing in terms of magazine size, and for me, unfortunately, the M40A5 has gone from a 10-round magazine down to a 5-round magazine. The reason I love the M40 so much, it's got a really nice high fire rate, which is only beaten by the Scout Elite, and it's sort of done a fairly standard damage model, and a nice bullet drop on it as well. So with those shots around 200 to 300 meters, if you could get the shot to go right, you get some really nice arcing headshots, and I just found it a really, really good weapon to use. And the main reason was you had so many bullets behind you, you could just fire one after the other into the enemy until you got your kill. And it looks as if you're not going to be able to do that quite as much now that this nerf has gone into place. But along with the M40A5, the CS-LR4 and the L96A1 are 2 other rifles that have gone from a 10-round magazine down to a 5-round magazine, and the Scout Elite has gone from a 5-round magazine up to a 10-round magazine, which kind of fits their real-life counterparts, apparently. Something else that's been tweaked across a wide variety of weapons, actually, is the bullet velocity. And the first one that really stood out to me was the G36C, which has jumped all the way up to 590 meters a second. Now, the G36C hasn't received a lot of love, really, in Battlefield 4. Its Battlefield 3 counterpart was just far better, in my opinion. It had a higher fire rate, which overall made it a much nicer carbine to use. And in Battlefield 4, it just really isn't. With that increase in muzzle velocity, that's a really good thing, but what really caught my eye as well for the G36 is it's one of the weapons that's getting a new 2-round burst fire mode, which is very similar to the AN-94, and I think this has been done so that it can directly compete against that, as well as citing that it actually is a true-to-life setting of the weapon, that it has a 2-round burst mode. I'm not sure right now if it has a 3-round burst or whether it doesn't have burst at all. I'm not 100% sure, but I think 2-round burst is better overall because you're not going to lose as many bullets per shot. Because when you hit the trigger, you're going to fire 2 bullets into an enemy, whereas with a 3-round burst, because it's got a lot of recoil, it can sometimes jump off target and you miss that 3rd bullet, so it's kind of useless it being there anyway. So it's nice to see that this weapon is getting fairly significant buff. There are two other weapons that caught my eye in terms of bullet velocity. I was really happy to see that the Scar H has received a 90 meter a second increase, now sitting at 500 meters a second overall, which kind of makes sense considering the weapon is supposed to be used for longer range combat, so it's good that those high powered rounds are now getting there a little bit quicker. And the U100 MK5, which already had a very high bullet velocity of 650 meters a second, is now increasing up to 700 meters a second, which puts it on par with the JNG 90, which is currently sitting at 710, I believe. And just a couple of points to finish off. There are a couple of tweaks to the reload animations and the cancelling of reload animations. So first of all automatic weapons now have their reload animation synced to the amount of time that it should actually take for you to reload the weapon, which is something that it's been griping me for so long, that my weapon looks like it's finished reloading, but actually it isn't. And sometimes it looks like it's finished reloading and it finished a second before that. It was always a little bit baffling to me, but that's good that that's been finally fixed. And also, cancelling reloads is now matched up to the tactical reload time. So you've got the short and long reload. The tactical reload is the short one. So if you want to cancel the reload, you have up to the time of which it would take you to do a short reload of the weapon instead of what it used to be, which was the long reload of the weapon. So sometimes you'd inadvertently cancel the reload because you go to do something else, and that wasn't really your fault because you needed to do something else. Somebody might be standing in front of you that you needed to kill. So that's another really good change right there. And the final thing, and this kind of surprised me quite a lot because I didn't realise it was the case, but the AWS has had its bullet type change from an assault rifle to an LMG. Now, the AWS is in the LMG category, and I know that it's a kit weapon and it's basically an assault rifle with a drum mag on it, but if you're going to put it in the LMG category, you may as well give it the LMG bullet type. So, who knows why Alan Kurtz decided to give it the assault rifle weapon type when he made it, but he also gave us the XM25 and the M320 3GL, so it's hardly a surprise. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are probably, for me, the most important changes that are coming out in the patch. I'm sure you will probably find different things more important than me, so I've linked the Reddit post in the description for you, so you can go and click that and you can have a look around and see what you think is most important. There are some really cool shotgun changes further down the list that I didn't really detail because I don't use shotguns that much, but it's basically making the spread not as random and a little bit tighter, so overall making the shotguns much more predictable at close range, because right now they're really not. But thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you could leave me a rating, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And don't forget to head up g2a.com/r/Westy for all the latest deals on the greatest games. The link's in the description. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.